First up tonight, we look at greyhound racing. It's a thriving industry in Australia, but with 70,000 starters per year, in Victoria alone, not everyone can be a winner. So what happens to those who don't quite make the grade? Well, for the lucky ones, there's the Greyhound Adoption Program, and we sent Claudette Vaughan to see more to find out more.
Victoria has probably got the highest level of, or the highest standards of greyhound racing, so greyhounds that don't make the grade in Victoria are usually relocated into other states where they can perform quite successfully. When they finish racing, probably the options available are, a lot of greyhounds are actually kept as pets by their owners. There's a very extensive breeding program. We breed about 4,000 litters a year, so a lot of greyhounds are kept for breeding. Greyhound Racing Victoria has led the way in Australia with respect to greyhound adoption programs, and over the last 7 or 8 years we've now tipping in about $250,000 a year to support the greyhound adoption program.
It's Claudette Vaughan here from Animals Matter. Today we're speaking to Larissa Dara from the Greyhound Adoption Program. Please tell us how you got started.
The Greyhound Adoption Program was started in 1996. It was started by some vet nurses at the Sandown Vet Clinic. They're a clinic that specialises in greyhounds, and they're obviously having quite large numbers of greyhounds being brought in regularly to be euthanised. So they recognised that there was a need for an adoption program. Soon after that, it was actually taken over by Greyhound Racing Victoria, who again recognised the value in the adoption program and the need to care for the greyhounds when they finished racing.
Are they an aggressive dog?
No, they're not at all. Unfortunately, that reputation's come about due to the fact that by law, greyhounds are required to be muzzled in public. The legislation was amended several years ago so that the dogs that are adopted through our program don't require a muzzle. They get given a green identification collar instead. Racing greyhounds need to be muzzled because they have what's called a high prey drive. It's a high desire to chase small animals. It's not because they're going to bite people. The muzzle is to protect small dogs and cats. When the dogs come through our program, we teach them that little animals aren't something that they need to chase and hurt. Once we're satisfied that the dog understands that, it then gets allocated its green collar and it's adopted out. Most people who adopt from us are just families who live in suburbia. They've usually got children. Greyhounds as a rule are extremely good with kids. They're very tolerant. They're people who want a fairly straightforward low energy dog. Greyhounds, again, it's another popular misconception that they're very active dogs. It's actually that they're extremely lazy. They're a sprinter, they tire very quickly, they don't have any stamina. So they're great for people who don't have the time to be getting out walking their dog twice a day. Greyhounds are happy to lie around on the couch.
And do they have any special requirements?
The only thing people need to be aware of with them is that they are a sight hound. They always retain the chase instinct, which is quite different to an aggression, to wanting to grab something, but they will chase if there's something moving fast, and that could be a paper bag. So it is essential that they're kept on lead in public because they will get hit by cars.
What advice would you give to people that were thinking of perhaps taking up one for their household? How would they go about that?
Well, what they need to do is to get in touch with us, and we can provide them with an information pack that goes into more information about what we do with our dogs and what's involved in adopting one. There's an application form we have people fill out, and that way we aim to match the dog to the home. People can't just come here and go through and pick a dog, because we know our dogs, and the aim is the right dog in the right home. Well, Larissa's doing a great job there with the Greyhound Adoption Program.
It's great news, isn't it, Helen?
Well, it's time for a break, so don't go away. We'll be right back.